Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Super EZA INT Ultimate Gohan is here. I'm very much looking forward to trying him out. He is level 10 links, he only has the 6 unfortunately, but it did make him a lot easier to link level. He is rainbowed, we do have him on Tech UI Goku's 200% lead. I did check all of his 200% leads and they're not the best. You know, you have Tech UI, God Goku, the Boo duo from year 8, Fizz Ultimate Gohan, and Birdku have all aged significantly. So this is definitely going to be the best place to run him. I mean, you can run him on Tech Buhan's 170 and then have him take advantage of the full boost from the domain. That is an option. But we want to run him at his best. So at least he will be under a domain on here. He won't get the additional 15% for Realm of Gods. But he will still be under a 200% lead and domain nonetheless. We actually have probably one of the strongest rotations we could start with for him. And right now, I'm pretty sure if we don't link him up with Beast, he does lose a link or two. Yeah, he does. He does gain same warrior race and int fighter. So I think for the time being, actually, we could just do this. I think I'm just going to do this. So we're starting with 373k attack stat, 201k defense. Give him some key spheres. He's pretty much only missing. No, he actually does have power bestow by God. He is perfectly linked up right now. So on super attack, he will greatly raise attack by 50%. That is a stack. Starts the turn with attack and defense plus 158. Does gain key plus 5, an additional 100% attack and defense when key is 7 or more. Which, as you can see there, even before we picked up a key sphere, you're pretty much guaranteed to have. So you'll always be gaining the 100% attack and defense and the key plus 5. So say ore placement isn't very generous to you. Say he isn't linked up too well. As long as you get his key to 7, which is fairly easy to do, you're always going to get a guaranteed super attack with extra key plus 5. We are starting with a 10.6 million attack stat, which is actually quite a high amount of damage to start with. Additional 11.3. That's that 50% he's getting on super attack. Potential system? Dodge. I mean, I'll take that. He then gets an 100% attack and defense on super in general. He'll launch an additional super attack and a 30% chance of those attacks becoming crits when all allies are super class. So if you do decide to run him on Tech Buhan's 170 lead to get that Margin Buu Saga domain boost, do be wary of that. Considering he needs all allies to be super class, he will miss out on that. So do be wary of that if that is something you do decide to do. However, the guaranteed additional on a unit that stacks, love that a whole bunch, especially when it's 50% each time. He does guard all attacks and has a 30% chance to dodge, which we saw him do just then, as long as he's in slot 2 or slot 3, which is actually perfect, because whether you decide to run him next to Tech Ultimate Gohan, you're going to want him to be in slot 1, stacking both attack and defense and having guard, especially once he's transformed, or if you just let him stack infinitely. Or if you run Beast, you want him to be in slot 1 because he's basically impervious to damage for like the first 4 or 5 turns, and he needs to be hit to build up his attack and defense before he super attacks. So it kind of works out perfect for Super EZA INT Ultimate Gohan rotation wise to be in slot 2 or slot 3. He then also gains an additional 30% defense up to 120% and a chance to crit and a chance to dodge, plus 10% up to an extra 40% with each super attack performed. So we have performed 2 super attacks. Of course, we do have that guaranteed one as long as all super class allies are present. So that means we only need to do 2 more, and we have the full 120% defense, we have the full 40% chance to crit, and we have that full extra 40% chance to dodge, which in total, again, as long as we have all superclass allies, which the entire team is, that means Gohan with a 70% chance to crit before potential system and have a total of 70% chance to dodge as well. So Super EZA INT Ultimate Gohan is doing a lot. Like, he's doing a lot. Now, unfortunately, we're probably going to kill Vegeta before we get to super attack with him again. I mean, we could take the risk with a dodge, but I'm not going to do it. He is already up to a 623k attack stat, 322k defense. Of course, we aren't going to get any super attacks off this turn, which is a shame, but it is what it is. And then he also gives superclass allies attack and defense plus 30%. And if there is an extreme class enemy, which unfortunately we're not facing right now, he will then give them an additional attack and defense plus 28%. So right now, while you constantly have him next to you in a slot 2, maybe a slot 3, but if you are going to run him on main rotation like we are now, if you are going to have him permanently next to a Tech Ultimate Gohan or a Beast, they're constantly going to be getting attack and defense plus 30%. They're going to be getting that extra bit. And if you do face an extreme class enemy, which you are bound to do if you decide to hop into Memorable Battles Janemba, then you'll be giving superclass allies attack and defense plus 58% in total, which is very nice. No key, but if there's any other support on the team that gives out the standard key plus 2, key plus 3 with their buffs, combined with his, especially if he's sitting on main rotation the entire time, which of course he's more than capable to do, unless you fully stack out the team and you have him in slot 3 instead, or just depending on the enemy you're facing. That's a lot of total support. That's 58% attack and defense from him alone. If you're facing an extreme class enemy like Janemba, so it's perfect for Janemba. The only downside is he will have type disadvantage, but then he will have guard and dodge. So he does have a whole lot to combat Janemba's type advantage and the amount of damage Janemba's going to be doing. So there is that, which is very handy. And then combine it with, let's just say, for example, I bought Super EZA Tech Beerus with me. His support as well. So that means superclass allies on the rotation, even before the domain, by the way, because that's another buff that's coming for everyone else. Even before we pop the domain, that means everyone on that rotation, well, essentially everyone, Tech Ultimate Gohan mainly, will be getting 58% attack and defense from Super EZA INT Ultimate Gohan, and then the extra, what, 30% attack I think he gives superclass allies from Tech Beerus. So it can add up. It can very well add up. Now, we can transform Tech Ultimate Gohan, which I don't think it actually makes a difference if we do or if we don't. I think they get 5 links together no matter what. But regardless, I am going to do it. So let's pop that. I mean, does it make a difference? I mean, no, it actually does. We get Same Warrior Race and Infight, and then we're going to get Power Bestowed by God once we pick up some Key Spheres. So, with Beerus' support right now, we are on a 798k attack stat. Look at where Tech Ultimate Gohan's attack stat is. 2 million because of the support. 2 million. So, of course, we're going to keep Super EZA INT Ultimate Gohan in slot 2. He is, again, pretty much perfectly linked up, aside from Saiyan lineage, which, I mean, we're not getting too much from. I mean, it's 5% attack and defense and key plus 2. Not that we need the key. And we also have some support from Super EZA Tech Beerus as well, which is only 30% extra attack, but it's still a bit extra, and we're still stacking. I mean, we've only super attacked twice. He's not even fully built up yet. That's kind of the crazy part. He's not even fully built up yet. He will be after this turn, because we're going to super attack him, and then we're going to have the guaranteed additional for having a full superclass team. So we're going to have him fully built up with all of his dodge chance, all the extra defense, and crit. 12.6 million. To get him to a pretty ridiculous attack stat, it's going to be so easy to do with that guaranteed additional and stacking 50% each time. We're up to 13.4 already. So now he's fully built up. We have all the crit chance, all the dodge chance, big crit, hidden potential system additional, 14.2 we're up to. So right now he has a 70% chance to crit before you factor in dupes. 10.7 both times, or something around that. He's done about 30 million damage in total, I think. That's pretty crazy. We're not actually going to get the domain active just because we've done so... Actually, no, we will. We just won't get to see Gohan with the domain active. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. Because we're going to do too much damage with rotation, but he's good. I'm not sure. Would I say he's better than Tech Beerus? I mean, I think Tech Beerus has a little bit more in ways of teams. You know, you can run him here. You can run him on Broly's team. But Gohan is very good. Like, he's insane. Think about it. Once he's fully built up, right? 70% chance to dodge, 70% chance to crit. Already that's crazy. Has a guaranteed additional on a unit that stacks by 50%, so he stacks quickly. along with having guard, as long as he's in slot 2 or slot 3 with some support, he just does almost everything. The only downside is you don't really have too many places you can run him 200% wise. 170 leads, sure. 200% leads, I'm not gonna lie, your best bet is Tech UI, and that's about it. And at least you have the domain that you can go under. But I think that's the only downside is 200% lead wise, he only has really one strong category to go on, or one lead to go on. And that's about it. But Super EZA in Ultimate Gohan is doing a whole lot. And he links to one of the best EZAs in the whole game. He's immediately displaced LRAGL Ultimate Gohan because he's just not that great. But I like him a lot. I'm really intrigued to see what he can do against Janemba, especially with type disadvantage, but then that guard and 70% chance to dodge once his passive is built up. He has a whole lot to combat that. But I'm liking the look of him a whole bunch. He looks insane. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Have a great day. And peace.